Hi, I'm Tim. Welcome to Watchbox, and thanks for logging on. If you love this watch, email me, tmosso@thewatchbox.com, your purchase and pricing email question line for buying this or any watch you see on any Watchbox platform. Please reach out to me for pricing, tmosso@thewatchbox.com. Today, we're discussing what could be described as the thinking man's Royal Oak Offshore. Launched in 2005, this is the Jaeger-LeCoultre Master Compressor Extreme World Chronograph, and it is everything the name implies. In fact, at the GPHG that year, it won the Best Sports Watch prize, and there is a lot to love. Literally, this watch, with an outer case in steel and an inner case in titanium, measures 46.4 millimeters in diameter, 15.7 millimeters thick, from lug to lug, case only, 55 millimeters, and from end link to end link, if we include the bracelet, the total distance across the wrist is 58.1 millimeters with a 22 millimeter spacing between the lugs. My wrist is 16 centimeters, and you can see the watch. It fits. I'll move out and give you a better sense of perspective because this is a big watch. And if you were to just see my wrist up close, you would swear that there is no match here. But I owned the Extreme World Alarm, which is basically this watch with an alarm rather than a chronograph. And I enjoyed wearing it on a strap, admittedly, but this watch will fit on a wrist of 16 centimeters. That is the size of my wrist. Any smaller, you're going to want a different master compressor. There were master compressor extremes and there were master compressors. Your wrist is smaller than mine, you want a master compressor. But there's a lot to enjoy in the constitution of this bracelet. First, what appears disappointing initially becomes a huge source of strength. This looks like a pin sleeve bracelet, which would mean this expensive, complicated haute horlogerie watch was assembled like a Tag Heuer or a 90s Omega, but it's not like that at all. Every single link is removable, and every single link is fixed using a spring bar, which means you can use a strap tool to size the bracelet, and every single link is ready to go to help you fine-tune the fit. You can also see that we have double finish here, so you've got satin and polish side by side. You have integration of the bracelet into the case. You have JLC's Peerless quick release system, which allows you to just retract the inner lug to remove the bracelet. The advantage here is that you're not being boxed into a corner with some sort of proprietary strap system. Unlike, say, Cartier or IWC or the likes of Audemars Piguet, here you can simply refit any 22 millimeter strap, and since it's a standard lug and it will work with a standard spring bar, you can put pretty much anything you want, whether it's OEM or full custom. So, having removed the bracelet, we can talk about some of the features you find therein. We have a quadruple trigger, double deployant clasp. And so this is a very secure system with spring loading in the center. So this little block at the center has 4 spring-loaded detents that actually lock the bracelet into place. You can see double finish on the clasp as well, satin and polished. And then internally, we have these little micro adjusts. So you get about 1 to 2 millimeters of incremental adjustment on each side, just as you would with Rolex EasyLink. And the way this works is you can deploy both, deploy one or neither to fine-tune the fit as your wrist may change size during activity. And you can see on the underside, there are plenty of gaps between the links to avoid pinching skin or pulling hair. So this is a really well-designed bracelet, and it's a design that dates back to the 1998 Reverso Grand Sport collection. This is far more than a Grand Sport. This is extremely sporty. You could see well with the bracelet removed that there's an inner case made of brushed titanium and an outer cradle made of steel. There are air pockets and spring shock absorbers between them. So this watch was billed as essentially immune to conventionally fatal, horologically fatal, activities like mountain bike riding, off-roading on a dirt bike or an ATV, firearms marksmanship, golf, batting. All of that is possible with this watch. And at the launch for the timepiece, everything from carnival hammer games to golf drives were available to demonstrate the durability of this construction. So this watch is large, but only because so much interior volume is devoted to that secondary case and the shock absorbing systems. So it is purposefully large. It is not an Hublot King Power that's big because big was the idea. It's big because there's a lot going on. Now, we also also have a brilliant and patented system. So you have between 1/2 and 1/4 a turn, and the watch will achieve 100-meter water resistance, and it's color-coded so you can't miss. Red, you're dead. White, you're tight. And because there's a little compressor crown wing, it's easy to grip these crowns and lock them or unlock them when your hands are wet, sweaty, or gloved, and that's not the case with the conventional screw-down crown. You can see that the watch does feature hacking or stop seconds, and it has a chronograph with a vertical clutch, so there's no jump when you start the chrono, and you can leave it running full time with no additional wear and tear. And also, because there's a column wheel in the movement, you get nice crisp actuation. The feel, the sound is glorious. But wait, there's more. We have a world time reference ring. So you could see that unlike a lot of world timers, Patek Philippe comes to mind, this is actually a world time where you put the reference city down at 6 o'clock, and you could tell because when you're supposed to put the reference city up at 12, the name of the city will be right side up at 12 o'clock. When you're supposed to put your reference city at 6 o'clock, the name of the city is right side up down at 6 o'clock. Now, I have a number of cities. I have 23 cities, to be precise, because there is a gap between the Azores and Rio, to represent the 24 principal time zones of the world. And so the way this works is it's the Louis Coutier world time system, first devised in the 30s. I read my minutes at center, and then I read this 24-hour world time reference ring to see the time in any of these cities or time zones. So where I am, you can see, it is just past 4 in the morning. And I'll demonstrate how this works. So now it's 5, and that's where I am, because I am in this place between the Azores and Rio. But I can see that in Auckland, it's 7 o'clock at night. And I can see that in Dhaka, it is 1 in the afternoon. It works just like that. You can see that 1/2 of this counterclockwise rotating reference ring is shaded. And the way that's achieved is with a smoked sapphire half disc that floats over the dial. It's attractive and downright exotic, an unconventional solution that gives the watch a wonderful impression of depth and complexity and richness. Now, the watch does have plenty of lume, and you'll note that the numerals and indices used here are a nod to the 1968 version of the Polaris diving alarm. So let's take a quick look at the watch and get a sense of its lume. There's no shortage of that. We also have a constant operation indicator, so when the chronograph is not running, we have this little disc with 2 semicircles, 1 white, 1 red, so you know that the watch is still running. We have a little chronograph disc that actually moves, the index stays stationary, and then you can see we have a wonderful offset date wheel that saves us from the missing index. So the date wheel sits between 4 and 5. We have a quick set system so we can rapidly cycle that date should we need to do so. Now, turning the watch over, you can see that it has been through the Master 1000 Hours Control, which is a test of chronometry, power reserve, winding efficiency, shock resistance, and water resistance. And unlike the COSC test, which is a bare movement that goes for 2 weeks, this is a test of the fully assembled watch that goes for 1,000 hours. Inside, JLC manufacturer caliber 752. It's based on the 750, the first ever in-house JLC automatic chronograph. So it's got 2 barrels for nice even torque release. You don't get the big amplitude drop off after 24 or 48 hours like you would with a single barrel movement. You have 65 hours of total power reserve. We have a unidirectional winding system for greater than bidirectional efficiency. Unidirectional is more efficient. It uses ceramic bearings for minimal maintenance, improved durability, and higher efficiency still. It is a free sprung balance, so the adjustment is done using variable inertia nuts on the balance wheel, making it more shock resistant still. And of course, it is a 41 joule movement that is extensively hand finished. As with Audemars Piguet, it is a combination of hand finishing and machine finishing. Reach out to Team Mosso at thewatchbox.com for purchase and pricing details.